Hello everyone, today I'd like to discuss the recent interview with senior producer Ryan McArthur from DICE. During this interview, they addressed a significant concern among players in the Battlefield franchise, the introduction of specialists and its current state. I wanted to delve into this topic because I had initially planned to create multiple videos about how to enjoy Battlefield 2042. However, after watching this interview, I found myself unhappy with how Ryan McArthur responded to the community concerns. Despite Battlefield being my all-time favorite franchise, I cannot support this behavior. I'd rather revisit the other titles and then promote this direction. So consequently, I paused my recordings and took a moment to reflect on how I'll proceed with the franchise and share my thoughts on the matter. Let's dive into it. During the interview, they discussed that many players had issues with specialists stemmed from a lack of understanding of how they were intended to function. Ryan McArthur stated, "When we look back at the data and when we really started moving forward with introducing the class systems, one of the big things we really started to understand was that a lot of our issues came from the fact that players didn't understand how the specialists were supposed to work." Breaking this down, it appears that he attributes the problem to the community. So basically, we are the problem rather than the specialist system itself. It's almost as if they were suggesting we are playing the game incorrectly. This notion is, in my opinion, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Battlefield, as one of the biggest sandbox arcade shooters, thrives on player creativity. It's disheartening to hear the studio insinuate that we are not grasping the intended gameplay. This sentiment both frustrates me and saddens me. It's difficult to accept that they won't acknowledge the misstep in altering the core DNA of Battlefield. The class system is a defining feature and encourages teamwork and strategy, essential for winning large-scale battles. This is just how Battlefield should be. Further in the interview, he mentioned, "And if you don't understand how something is supposed to work, of course you believe that the old way was better." Feedback from players was really good around this, so we had to find a way to give them what they wanted, but still allow us the freedom and flexibility that we originally wanted to. While they attempted to reintroduce the elements of the class system, the hybrid nature of the specialist approach still doesn't seem to be harmonizing with the Battlefield universe. The sense of balance has been disrupted and the core DNA feels compromised. The shift to a new development team for Battlefield 2042 might be a contribution factor to the misalignment with the franchise's fundamental pillars. While fresh perspectives can enhance games, the Battlefield series relies on its established principles to succeed as a cohesive experience. Unfortunately, these pillars seem to be absent in Battlefield 2042 completely. Now, one notable acknowledgement in the interview was the admission of poor communication, leading to suboptimal decisions about how specialists should function. But it doesn't matter on how the specialists should be played in a sandbox-style game. The interview continues as followed. Each of these specialists were originally designed to fit within the class structure that we had in previous games. We just didn't land that communication or execute it in a way that players understood what role each specialist was supposed to play. We underestimated the need to make sure that we constantly tie these things back to the original pillars of Battlefield: class gameplay, squad play, and teamwork. This is one of the big places where we fell. Okay, this recognition of underestimating the importance of aligning new features with Battlefield's foundational pillars is a step in the right direction. However, it doesn't fully address the broader concerns raised by the community. And that concerns me, especially if you think about further Battlefield games. Personally, I'm left with a mix of emotions. DICE has eroded some of the trust I had in their decision-making process. While I initially attributed issues to EA, hearing this sentiment from DICE itself makes me question my remaining hope for the Battlefield franchise. I'm curious about your thoughts on this interview, as well as your feelings towards DICE, EA, and the current state of Battlefield. Do you believe the community's reaction would have been different if they had a clearer understanding of how to play with specialists, or just an overall better communication? Although the game lacks the fundamental pillars today, so I don't know what the outcome would be. Share your perspectives below. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my thoughts. I wanted to express my feelings honestly. Lastly, I'd like to conclude this video by stating that I won't support this behavior. Despite enjoying my recent hours in Battlefield 2042, I won't create videos about it moving forward. I might reconsider if changes occur, but I stand by my stance. There are plenty of exceptional older Battlefield titles that continue to be popular and deserve attention. Thank you for listening, and if you resonate with my viewpoint, leave a like and subscribe for more content related to shooters and looters. Cheers.